Hi.
Hello.
We're gonna today talk about relationships on a boat, how to maintain them, what people think about them, and our personal experiences, along with others that we've met. So, Herbie's gonna start because he actually lived on the boat for 2 years before we met, and he went through multiple relationships.
Yes. So, dating and living on a boat is actually quite nice.
It's a mixed bag.
It's a mixed bag. Yeah, so there's a couple things. So, one, I'm a dentist, so I had a lot of gold diggers kind of coming after me. And the boat was really good because it was like a really strong filter. Because I had classmates, they got married to girls, and you could tell the girl didn't really like the guy. She was just after his degree and what she assumed would be his lifestyle. And I didn't want that. So the boat was a great filter because, someone starts dreaming about their white picket fence house and, everything perfect, and they marry a dentist, and then they realize that that white picket fence house floats. And they don't like that.
And isn't a house at all.
Yeah, it's a hallway. So it was a really good filter in that regard. So I'd go on dates, and then they'd find out that I lived on a boat, and if they were really interested in me, they'd stay with me. If they were more interested in the fact that I was a dentist, they'd move on. So I was not going to be accidentally stuck with the wrong person. So before I moved on to the boat, when I still lived on land, I was dating a girl, and I told her about how I wanted to buy a sailboat and live on it and go cruising and all that, and she said, "That's cute. Sure, why not?" And then I found the boat on Yacht World, and I went and saw it, and I was super excited. And I came home and I was telling her, "Oh my God, I found the boat that I'm gonna live on. It's gonna be great." And she's like, "No, we're not doing that." So she thought it was a phase that I'd go through and get out of and then move on. And it wasn't a phase, because here I am on a boat. So she gave me an ultimatum when I told her about the sailboat, and she said it's either me or the boat. And that was quite an easy choice for me to make, because it's the boat. As a friend of mine once told me, anything that comes into the relationship beforehand comes in as baggage. Anything that comes in afterwards, she needs to okay it. So if you want to live on a boat, get it before you find someone. That way the boat comes into the relationship as baggage.
I never would have said yes.
Yeah.
To the boat. Never. If I had been first.
Yeah.
But after many years of getting used to the boat, and knowing that it came with Herbie, it's a home. It's our home. And I'm happy with it. And I love it. And especially now that we're cruising.
Yeah.
That's great. As far as our relationship, it's funny because on our first date, Herbie said, he didn't open with it or anything. It was we were finishing up our meal, and I did my little technique, and I said, "Do you live with roommates?" Which is my way of asking, "Do you live with your parents?" And he said, No, I live by myself. Oh, do you live in an apartment? No, I live in a boat. I had no idea what that meant. Yeah, no idea. I didn't know people lived on boats at all. So I was picturing a lavish boat house, Sleepless in Seattle. No.
Surprise, surprise.
So I moved in actually very quickly, and I got used to it, and we're living in such close quarters, but Herbie spends all of his day at the office. So, when I'm on the boat, he's not there. I, did my own thing. I spent a lot of time at my parents' house painting because that's where my painting supplies were. And so we weren't stuck in the really close quarters that everyone thought we were. And then we went cruising.
Yeah.
And we heard a lot of, "Oh my gosh, I would kill my husband if I was stuck in the same room with him for more than 10 minutes, let alone 24 hours every day."
Yeah.
So we heard stories of divorce.
Yeah, apparently people go cruising and either it works out great or it goes or it ends.
Yeah.
So
People come back from cruising and they separate. They split up. It's hard to be in this tiny space with the same person. You have to have a very special connection, but you have to be two people who actually are very clingy
yeah,
for it to work
well
because
for us.
like you can have a really wonderful connection with somebody and still not be able to handle being with them for all this time so close with no space, no alone time. Our version of alone time is he's here and I'm in the bed, like
Yeah, and that's like 15
3
feet
feet away.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to be with each other all the time and actually want it. It's not a matter of being okay with it. It's a matter of actually wanting it and enjoying it.
Yeah. So it's funny when we're apart, like 50 feet away from each other, we don't like it. We want to be closer. It's ridiculous because, you know, it's not that far away, but still we don't like it. And
we do everything together. We go shopping together. Like, I'm never just alone on the boat while he's doing something else. The closest we get to that is when you're doing deck work and I'm down below.
Yeah, or also, so she sleeps in, like she doesn't wake up in mornings, and I do. So usually I'll get up early and start sailing, and then around like 10, 11, 2 p.m., somewhere around there, she'll wake up and come out.
And that's great, because Herbie gets his alone time outside, he gets his thoughts and everything, and I get my space in the bed
Yeah.
for a couple more hours.
Yep. So that we do have some alone time in that regards, that we spend time separately from each other. And then when we're doing boat chores, I do the deck and she does the inside. So if we're gonna...
For the most part.
Yeah, for the most part. Usually we end up doing it together anyway. So that time we're technically apart because we're on different floors, but we're actually like maybe 6 feet apart. So...
Yeah. So for us, I think it's a testament to our personalities and how we work together and our relationship that this works for us. We have met a few other couples along the way who, I don't know, we didn't ask them about their relationship on board because that's like awkward. But they seemed to be very happy. I think that couples, when they're cruising and it works, you kind of work out a rhythm, and each person has their tasks that they do, and and those people have been on much smaller boats than us on a lot of occasions.
So they're in extremely tight quarters.
Yeah. And I think we should talk about Ben and Kate, our two good friends who they don't cruise, but you've got a halo.
Yes, I'm glowing.
Ben and Kate, they don't cruise, but they do live aboard, and they live on a 34 foot.
Yeah, but they started with a 27 foot.
Yeah, and they are so in love and perfect for each other, and it just works for them.
Yeah, so if you want to make it work, it can on anything. And then we know people that are like on 65-foot motor yachts, and they think it's too close together.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, they got their own issues. So
issues, or just that's the way they are as
quirks.
People,
Yeah.
Not everybody can be with another human being, let alone the same human being for that amount of time.
Yeah, it's constant.
Yeah.
So then for, like, if a conflict arises and there's a misunderstanding, apologize first. Because it's not going to get any better until someone apologizes. And if you wait for the other person to apologize, it might never happen. And then the feud just continues. So just apologize. Just suck it up and apologize. Just call it a day.
I think that actually living on the boat is very good for feuds, because you literally can't get away from the other person until it's resolved.
Yep.
And then you don't want to get away.
Yeah. Like I have troubles picking up empathy and social norms and things.
And just
General I'm a weird person.
Well,
So I'll say something, and Maddie was extremely offended, and I have no idea why.
or he'll just
And
misunderstand something I said or something.
yeah,
It's usually miscommunication is what
yeah.
it turns out to be.
So I'll know right away that something's wrong because Maddie goes from bubbly to stone cold silent and just sad at me, and I don't know why. But whether I understand or not, just apologize and then make it better, and whatever was wrong, ask and then fix, and don't do it again.
It makes it really hard to storm off
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you're just like,
Where are you going?
I'll be over there.
2 feet away.
Yeah. Yeah. So you always hear stories about couples and, hey, what do you have to, what is your advice? Oh, never go to bed angry. Well,
Yeah.
it's impossible to go to bed angry because
It's a tiny space.
one person's in bed over there and the other person's sulking here, and then eventually there's only one bed.
Yeah. So you better work it out.
You better
Yeah.
get in there, And
then another thing that really helps is communication. So a lot of arguments actually start because of docking and anchoring.
Mm-hmm.
Those are like the 2 big things. When the boat's sailing in open seas, there's no pressure. Everything's fine. When you're in tight quarters, emotions are high.
This is for other people, not us.
Tempers are high.
We got this down.
Yeah, so you'll see them, they'll come in, they're fine, they start screaming at each other, and then when the boat's finally tied up, one of them storms off, and you might not see them for like till the next day. And you're like, okay, interesting. So what we do is we talk about what we're going to do first. So if we're going to anchor, we figure out where we want to anchor, and then we have assigned roles. So we stick to our roles, and we don't cross boundaries. And that's it.
And
That's all you do.
we know the plan. We know what we're
Yeah.
doing. So
Oh.
if something goes awry and the other person's like, yo, this is happening. The
Yeah.
other person knows, like, they're not yelling at me. They're yelling to be heard.
Yeah, because also distance is a thing. When I'm at the bow and she's in the cockpit, we're 40 feet apart, and there's a dodger between us, plus wind noise. So I have to yell just to be heard. It's not that I'm mad. I'm be like, there's a pilot! And she's like, oh, okay. And
Yeah.
fixes it. When it comes to divvying up the space in the boat, she wants the closet and all the space that's available, and give it to her because it'll make her happy, and then she'll come with you and go cruising. So her closet is about 3 feet wide. Mine is about 8 inches wide.
Yeah. It's
that's
true.
So let her have the closet space and all the creature comforts she wants.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, just do it.
Yeah.
You'll be happier
do
if
it.
you just do it. Yeah.
There was no point of contention when I was moving in, because it was basically just like,
She made demands and I just said, okay.
yeah. I was like, so that one's mine. And then we drew up like a whole graph of like everything that was all the storage space in the boat, and we divvied it up, and it was like a whole thing.
And she took almost all of them anyway.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
So, that.
Also, if there's changes she wants to make to the boat, just do them. It's going to be so much better.
Mm-hmm.
When she moved in, I was sleeping on like a thin piece of foam over plywood. And that was my bed. And I slept in there when it was cold or raining, because otherwise I slept outside in a hammock. Because I'm a guy. And it was more like camping on the boat rather
yeah.
than living. I had no air conditioning. There was no running water. Everything was like manual foot pumps. And she came in. She demanded hot water, air conditioning, and a comfortable bed. And it's been amazing. So if she says she wants to do a change on the boat, just do it. It will be so much better.
So trust.
Yeah, trust is a big thing.
The other thing when you're cruising, you're knowing each other. You're knowing each other at your best, and you're knowing each other at your worst. We don't shower very often.
Yeah. It's usually about once a week.
Yeah, we get pretty gross, especially him. And you just have to and he'll grow this like scraggly piece of nasty, you know. So, but you realize that they're still the same person, and you love them no matter what.
Yeah, and as soon as I shower and shave, I'll be, approachable again.
Yes, approachable. That's the word.
Another thing that's really important for relationships is to understand what each is capable of and not expect more than what they can actually do. So I know that Maddie gets seasick, and when we go offshore, I know I am single-handing. But like the moment we leave the inlet, I plan on single-handing the boat until we make it to the next inlet. And if Maddie's feeling well, excellent, and she's out, she's helping and all that. But the moment she gets seasick, I'm not thinking, oh geez, like, I was planning on doing a watch cycle and I need my sleep. And
he doesn't start demanding stuff of me.
Yeah, I'm like, you just lay down, take it easy, just focus on feeling better. And then like I'll be bringing her food and crackers and ginger, stuff like that, just trying to make her feel better while I single hand the rest of the boat. So it's just knowing,
no big deal.
Yeah, just knowing what it is that's to be expected. So being in a tiny space with someone, you're gonna find all their faults, the things that you didn't even think they could have as a fault, and you'll find it, and then you will learn to accept it. Like, for example,
Continue.
For example, I don't like to do the dishes or wear many different clothes when I know there's no laundry to be had for a long time. And Maddie will leave little pieces of like food wrappers in different places. That's it.
Once you notice these faults, there are two things to do. The first one is to accept it and know that that's minimal, and if this person's going to have faults, then not wearing a new outfit every day or even once a week is nothing compared to what it could be. Like that person, yelling at you incessantly or drinking too much or cheating on you, like you have to put it in perspective. So that's the first thing you do. And the second thing you do is communicate with them and say, hey, it'd be great if you could change this a little bit to make us both happier.
Yeah. So
we do that. And right along the lines of communication again.
Yep.
It's a good thing to do. And that's something we might not have learned if we hadn't been living together and seeing each other constantly in a tiny, tiny space.
Yeah.
It does feel like years that we have been together,
'Cause it has
and been married. But it's like we've only been married for a year and a half, and I just think that spending all this time together and living so close to each other, it's kind of the equivalent of like 10 years of actually being in that person's presence. And the hours that we've racked up together is like way more than most people have in, a lot more time together.
Yeah.
So that can be good and bad, but mostly good for us.
Yep.
Since cruising, I think that it has only made our relationship stronger.
Yeah.
Because when you're both working all day, and you only eat dinner together and, see each other on weekends and everything, that's a normal relationship. That's fine. But I feel that we've reached this entire extra level of knowing the other person, who they are during the day, every day, during all kinds of emotional situations, during stressful situations. And this way, if we have to ever deal with a really stressful situation, I know exactly what to do. I know how he's going to act. I know why he's acting that way.
Yep.
And I know what to say to him because we've had so much practice, and he knows what to say to me, and our communication is so much better as a result. And a relationship is nothing without communication. Anyway, what we're trying to say is cruising, it can either make or break a relationship. It will do one of two things. It'll either destroy it. It'll show you all the things you hate about that person. It'll show you all the things you love about that person. So if it doesn't destroy it, it can only make it 1,000 times stronger. So it's been really good. I mean, they say that nothing is as telling for a relationship as traveling together, your ability to travel together. So this is the ultimate example of that, I think. Yeah, it's good. Take you behind the stairs to take a look at all of our life-saving equipment that we have on board.
One really important thing with an EPIRB, you buy it, you have it, register it, because if you don't register it, they don't know who or what you are. So, pretty much, we got this guy.
No. You are...
Oh, the smell. Us smelling.
Right.
Yeah.
Say something that doesn't make you sound like a robot.
I have feelings.
Thanks so much for watching. And if you want to become a sailing buddy, you can click the link down below to our Patreon account.
Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. And when you click subscribe, make sure you click on the little bell in the annotation. That way you get notifications as soon as our next video is uploaded.
Thanks so much!